Hey folks, I just purchased this new generator recently. Wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about it, and I'll be starting it today for the first time, so I wanted to share the startup experience also. So it is a Troy-Bilt XP Series 7,000 watt, 10,500 starting watt generator. I'll be filling it up with some True Fuel to help with the 5-hour break-in period. Read a bunch of information online about staying away from ethanol, and generators are those items that aren't really run a whole lot. You're supposed to kind of start them up every 30 to 45 days to keep them running well when you actually need them. But most of the time they just sit there, and I didn't really want to risk any ethanol fuel gumming up the carburetor. Heard a lot of horror stories and whatnot, but that's another topic. What I wanted to do is just kind of give you a little walk around this generator and talk a little bit about it. It has this extender panel, which let's take this guy off over here, which tells you about the percentage of the usage that this generator is going through at that point. Two different percentages from what I've read, the percentage on the panel itself, and then the total generator itself also. But here we have the on-off start buttons, the breaker for the 30 amp plug, which is here, which I will actually be using to connect my whole house panel to with an interlock kit. We have the choke here, the battery charger, float charger input. I did put it on the charger for a day, so the battery should be nicely charged up. The only things that I actually had to assemble were the wheel kit. So the wheels, I installed those, and the front supports, and the other part was basically connecting the negative battery terminal here. The positive one was already connected, just needed to put the grommet over top of the screw. But that's all that needed to be done to get this thing ready to go. I did check the oil. It was low just a little bit, so brought that up to spec. So that's ready to go. Over here on this side, you see the exhaust, the spark arrestor. There's a pretty hefty handle that kind of allows you to wheel this 250 some pound generator around a little bit easier. But I did actually bring it underneath my patio here, which is covered, so that it'd be out of the rain, since it has been raining a lot over here. There was no way I was going to be able to just wheel it up these steps, so I actually did use some ramps to bring it up here. So let me go ahead and get the gasoline poured in here, and all I'm going to do is pour this one can in here. It's about 110 fluid ounces, and we'll get it started up. Probably should have used a funnel, but it's alright. I'm gonna wipe up any splashes before I start it up. Alright, so the gas is poured. Everything's been wiped up. One thing I wanted to talk to you guys about on this side here, something I did install was this fuel filter here that you see. This is actually a Briggs & Stratton engine, so all Briggs & Stratton parts work well with it, but I did decide to get a Briggs & Stratton fuel filter. Seemed like there was a perfect spot for it right here. I don't know why they didn't put one in, but I did install one of these, so hopefully that will kind of keep all the gunk from the gasoline, if there might be any, keep it from going into the carburetor. But if you do install one yourself on yours, just make sure that you are putting it in the right direction with the arrow going towards the carburetor. So let's go ahead and turn the fuel on, straight up and down for it to turn on. So you can see the fuel filter is starting to fill up. All right, and then here's the same switch, or I guess the lever for the choke. Same thing happens up front also. If I move this to the left, choke actually comes on, and if I go to the front, you'll see that the choke is now pulled out. So if I were to push this in, you come back here and see that the choke is now off. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the choke out. Now I'm going to turn this on. Well, it's on. And here is moment of truth, guys. Well, that started amazingly fast. It's fairly loud, as expected, but sounds like it's running very smooth.